There are moments in sports that become something more. When Mike Pinasa hit that go-ahead home run in the first game back in New York after 9/11, it was more than just a home run. It felt like it brought a wounded city back to life. When Jackie Robinson stepped onto the field, he wasn't just a great player, he was changing the heart of a nation. This is the baseball we know, a game inspired by the American dream, where it doesn't matter how tall or fast you are, anyone can become a hero. But here's something you may not know about baseball. For every person the game has inspired, there's someone it's driven completely insane. We're talking about a pitcher, Doc Ellis, throwing a no-hitter while high on LSD. We're talking about superstar Darryl Strawberry, who would allegedly sneak women into the clubhouse for sex in between innings. And after clinching a playoff spot in 1986, the entire New York Mets team got on their charter flight home and caused nearly $10,000 in damages during a wild cocaine binge. So how can the same sport do both? How can it teach you to control your emotions like a monk and then teach you to swear like a sailor? Why does a game that has brought so much joy also invoke such intense, bizarre, and self-destructive behavior? The answer isn't in the players or the fans. It's hidden in one specific rule that makes baseball the most unique and psychologically demanding sport ever invented. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into that very rule, baseball's immutable lineup. We want to really unpack how this bedrock element of the game shapes just about everything.
Yeah, from the manager's strategy right down to, well, what's going on inside a player's head?
Exactly. And we'll look at how wildly different it is from the substitution rules you see in, well, pretty much every other big team sport out there.
The constant shuffling you see in basketball or hockey. It's just absent in baseball.
Then we'll peel back the layers on the psychological side, the immense pressure cooker this rule creates for the players.
That mental game, which is just so huge in baseball.
And finally, we'll try and connect all these dots. Why does baseball resonate culturally in the way it does? How does it tie into this whole American dream idea, even with all its quirks and contradictions?
It's a fascinating link, definitely.
It should be a good one. It touches on strategy, psychology, culture, all wrapped up in this one single rule. So let's get into it. Okay, so at the heart of it all, the thing that makes baseball really stand out, and maybe why it messes with people's heads so much, is this rule, the fixed lineup. It sounds simple, right?
Deceptively simple, yeah.
The manager sits down, maybe hours before the game, figures out his 9 players. He picks the starting pitcher, decides who plays where in the field, and crucially, sets that batting order 1 through 9.
And that's the order they have to bat in all game long.
But here's the kicker, the part that's just different. Once you substitute a player out, say you pinch hit for someone, or bring in a defensive replacement, that player is done. They cannot come back into the game, period.
That's the immutable part. It's final. Once you pull the trigger on a sub, there's no going back for that player in that game.
Which means, unlike, basketball, where a coach can swap players in and out during timeouts, or hockey with its line changes, baseball takes away that dynamic control once the first pitch is thrown.
Right. That lineup card the manager fills out. It's basically set in stone for the duration of the game, barring injury substitutions. It dictates opportunity in a way that's just fundamentally different.
The manager makes the plan, but then fate, or just the flow of the game, takes over who actually gets the chance to be the hero or, the GOAT.
It's a massive contrast to other sports. Think about unlimited live play substitution, like in hockey, lacrosse, or handball.
Okay, yeah. Hockey's a good example.
Right. You've got players hopping over the boards constantly. Teams run, 4 forward lines, maybe 3 defensive pairings, fresh legs coming on all the time.
Coaches are yelling, change from the bench.
Exactly. Managing fatigue, getting the right matchups out there. Except for a few specific situations like icing, they can swap guys pretty much whenever they want. It's fluid.
Real-time adjustments.
Totally. Lacrosse is similar, swapping offensive and defensive specialists depending on who has the ball. Handball. Even more wide open, basically substitute anyone anytime unless they're serving a penalty.
So the coach has immense control, moment to moment.
Precisely. They can ensure their best players are on the ice or field for those critical moments. There's a direct line between the coach's decision and who gets the opportunity.
Okay, then what about sports like basketball or football? They don't sub quite that freely, right?
Not quite live play, but they have what you could call unlimited stoppage play substitution. So during timeouts, fouls, between plays, guys can go in and out multiple times.
Right. Basketball.
A star player can sit for a bit, then the coach calls a timeout and puts them right back in for the last shot. Exactly. Think about Kobe Bryant or LeBron James. You know the coach is going to draw up a play for them, and they will be on the court to take that shot. It's designed that way.
The last guy on the bench isn't taking the game winner unless something's gone very wrong.
Almost never. And American football, it takes it even further. You got entirely separate units for offense, defense, special teams.
Yeah, huge roster changes between plays.
Constantly. Depending on the down and distance, the play call, you might bring in a big fullback for a short yardage run or swap in 5 wide receivers for a Hail Mary pass.
It's all highly specialized and planned.
Highly. The coach dictates exactly who is on the field for nearly every specific situation. They can ensure their best pass rusher is in on 3rd and long, or their best receiver runs the critical route. The opportunity is assigned.
Okay, so even soccer, which has fewer subs.
Right. Association football is more limited, usually just 3 subs per game, maybe a 4th in extra time. And once you're out like in baseball.
But the coach still gets to make those crucial changes.
Yes. They still have that agency. Down a goal late, they can bring on an extra striker, trying to protect a lead. They can sub in a defensive midfielder. It's less fluid than hockey, sure, but it's still a level of tactical control during the game that a baseball manager just doesn't have regarding who gets the next key at bat or faces the next tough defensive play.
So that brings us back to baseball's unique bind. The manager sets the lineup, maybe based on analytics, gut feeling, matchups, whatever. But then the game starts, and they largely become a spectator to how those opportunities play out.
It's a fascinating helplessness in a way.
Yeah. You could put your gold glove shortstop out there thinking, okay, he'll save us some runs, and then the ball just never gets hit to him. Like, not once. All that defensive prowess just sits there.
Right. Or the flip side. You stick your shaky fielding power hitter in left field, hoping for the best.
Praying the ball doesn't find him.
And sure enough, bottom of the 9th, bases loaded, 2 outs. A line drive screams out to left, and that guy makes a diving, game-saving catch.
It's completely unpredictable who the game itself will choose for that moment. You can't call timeout and say, okay, Martinez, you sit down. Thompson's hitting for you now.
Nope. The decision was locked in hours ago. Now you just watch.
It reminds me of this perspective, almost like being inside the manager's head. The lineup card feels like a stone in my pocket. I filled it out 6 hours ago under the sterile office lights, a series of names that felt less like a team and more like a prayer. Now, under the glare of the stadium, it's a binding contract with fate. Bottom of the 9th, 2 outs, bases loaded, down by 1. And walking to the plate is the kid, Martinez, my number 8 hitter. My gut screamed to start the veteran, Thompson, this morning. Thompson, who eats these moments for breakfast. But the analytics, the spreadsheets, the young faces in the front office, they all pointed to Martinez against this specific right-handed pitcher. I can't change it now. This isn't like basketball where I can call a timeout. There's no quick sub to bring in my clutch specialist. The decision was made in the quiet of the afternoon. Now, in the roaring chaos of 40,000 screaming fans, all I can do is lean on the dugout rail and trust the ghost of a choice I made when the world was still sane. The kid takes a deep breath, and so do I. It's his moment, but it's my gamble. Wow, that feeling of powerlessness, it really hits home. And it sets the stage perfectly for talking about the players, right? Because if the opportunities are that unpredictable, the mental load on them must be immense.
Oh, absolutely. That's where the whole baseball is a game of failure thing comes in.
Yeah.
We hear it all the time, but living it is something else entirely.
Yeah, it's easy to say intellectually, oh yeah, even the best hitters fail most of the time. But actually stepping into the box, striking out with runners on base, making an error, that's tough.
It really is. And the stats bear it out in such a stark way. You mentioned Ted Williams earlier. Hitting .400 in 1941. Just think about that, .400.
Means he got a hit 4 times out of 10.
Which also means he didn't get a hit 6 times out of 10.
Yeah.
6 failures for every 4 successes. And he's, an absolute legend, maybe the greatest hitter ever.
And the Hall of Fame standard is like .300, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for hitters, .300 is that benchmark of greatness.
Yeah.
So you're failing 7 times out of 10, and that gets you into Cooperstown.
It's completely upside down compared to how we normally think about success and failure.
It really is. Failure isn't just common in baseball, it's the norm.
Yeah.
It's expected. And somehow you have to learn to function, even thrive within that reality.
Which must create this intense internal battle. Because nobody wants to fail. You want the home run, the strikeout, the great play.
Of course. But the players who last, the ones who have long, successful careers, they've figured out how to accept failure. Not just tolerate it, but accept it as part of the process.
Like it's feedback, not judgment.
Exactly. They learn from the strikeout. They adjust after the error. They don't let it define them or spiral them downwards. Players who can't make that mental shift, who dwell on every failure, they burn out fast. Or they find a sport with maybe a higher success
It
rate.
requires a certain kind of mental toughness or resilience.
Definitely. And it also flies in the face of our instant gratification culture.
Right. Everything now, now, now.
Yeah. Baseball just isn't like that. You can't just practice for an hour and suddenly be amazing. It's about grinding. It's about chipping away.
Thousands of swings, thousands of pitches.
Day after day after day. It's long-term growth, incremental gains. You need patience, almost a Zen-like approach sometimes.
So how do players stay motivated when the big rewards, the noticeable improvements, might be so far off?
That's where celebrating the small wins becomes so important.
Yeah.
It's not just about the final score or the home run. It's about maybe making solid contact 3 times in batting practice, or hitting your spot perfectly on one pitch, or making a clean defensive play.
Focusing on the process, not just the outcome.
Precisely. You have to find satisfaction and validation in those little moments of execution, those small victories along the way. Otherwise, the sheer volume of failure and the delayed gratification would just be too demoralizing for most people. And this all ties back to what Yogi Berra famously said, right? Baseball is 90% mental. The other half is physical.
Classic Yogi. But he was on to something.
Absolutely. That mental side is just enormous.
Yeah.
Because thinking too much in baseball is often poison. You hear about paralysis by analysis.
Yeah, getting stuck in your own head.
It's real. Trying to hit a 95-mile-per-hour fastball or throw a perfect curveball. These are highly complex motor skills performed at incredible speed. If you're consciously thinking, okay, rotate hips, keep elbow up, snap wrist, you can be too slow, too tight.
You have to trust your training, your muscle memory.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The best baseball is played almost unconsciously. In that flow state, athletes talk about letting it happen, trying too hard, thinking too much. It tightens you up, distracts you, and performance plummets. It's a weird paradox.
So how do you train that mental side? You can lift weights for physical strength, but how do you strengthen the mind for baseball?
That's a great question, and it leads to stories like this pitcher, Matt. Heard about him a while back. Kid was dominant in high school, real bulldog, got a scholarship to a big D1 program.
Okay.
But then early on in college, he threw a couple wild pitches in practice. No big deal, usually. But some older teammates started teasing him, calling him wild man. Just messing around, probably. Yeah. It got in his head. He started thinking about it on the mound. Don't throw it wild. What if I hit someone?
Yeah.
That little seed of doubt.
Spiraled.
Totally. He got tighter, more tentative, lost his control even more, confidence shattered. Coaches lost faith. He ended up riding the bench, feeling like a total head case.
Man, that's rough. From star recruit to that.
Brutal. But then a teammate suggested mental training. Said it was like doing weights for your brain. Matt was desperate, so he tried it.
What did that involve?
Learning techniques to control focus, like having a specific routine to let go of a bad pitch, maybe a trigger word, and wiping his hand on his pants and immediately refocusing on the next pitch, the NLW.
Right, staying present.
And learning to just observe negative thoughts like, I might throw this wild, without getting caught up in them. Acknowledge it, let it float by, and bring the focus back to the task.
Like mindfulness almost.
Very much so. And it worked. Over a few months, he regained his control, his confidence came back, ended up having a great college career, and even got drafted, made it to the majors.
Wow. That's incredible. Shows how vital that mental training is.
It's absolutely critical. And it's not just about confidence. It's managing emotions in those pressure cooker moments. We hear about players struggling with that all the time, getting angry after a mistake and then performing worse.
Yeah, like Framber Valdez, you mentioned, meditating between innings.
Exactly. Using that quiet moment in the dugout, closing his eyes, focusing on his breath, actively regulating his emotions to stay calm and focused. Even a huge playoff game. He said it works 100% for him.
So it's about having a plan.
Yes. Having a strategy, breathing, a mantra, whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Having a set place, the dugout, behind the mound, in the batter's box. And a set time between innings, before a pitch, after an error. Taking control of your emotional state is a skill, just like fielding ground balls.
And you absolutely need that skill because going back to the lineup rule, you never know when your number's called.
Precisely.
Any player, anytime, could suddenly be the guy.
Yeah.
The utility infielder who barely plays might be stepping up with the bases loaded and extra innings. There's no hiding. The game itself finds you.
The spotlight doesn't discriminate based on your contract or your batting average.
Yeah, it evokes this kind of feeling, doesn't it? Like this. I'm not supposed to be here. Not now. I'm the guy who spells our all-star shortstop in the second game of a doubleheader. The guy who pinch runs when a pitcher gets a surprise single. My job is to be invisible. a spare part. But then Henderson pulled a hamstring in the 7th, and now it's the 11th inning. My legs feel like lead, my jersey is soaked through, and I'm 0 for 2 with a pop-up that still makes my stomach churn. The stadium hums with a tired, desperate energy, and they just intentionally walk the batter ahead of me to get to me. The stadium lights feel like 1,000 interrogators. I can hear a single voice from the upper deck shout my name, or maybe I imagined it. In the dugout, every eye is on me, from the superstar slugger to the bat boy. There's no hiding. In this sport, the spotlight doesn't care about your salary or your stats. It just finds you. I step into the box, my heart a frantic drum against my ribs. For the next 30 seconds, I am not the backup. I am the game.
That's powerful. It really captures that democratic nature of opportunity in baseball. And that connects directly to its cultural significance, doesn't it? This whole idea of the American dream.
Oh, so?
Well, because the opportunities aren't handed out by the coach based on who they think is best in that moment. They're generated by the flow of the game itself. Players talk about the baseball gods, you know?
Yeah, like it's fate, almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The lineup just keeps turning over like a wheel of fortune. Your spot comes up when it comes up. You can't control when you get the chance, only how prepared you are for that chance.
It removes that layer of human bias or strategic manipulation from the opportunity itself.
Right. Think about that amazing Trout versus Ohtani matchup in the World Baseball Classic final. Last out, 9th inning, game on the line.
An instant classic moment.
Absolutely. But Trout wasn't batting in that spot because the manager engineered it. It happened because of the way the previous innings unfolded. If someone else had gotten out or gotten a hit, way back in the 6th or 7th inning,
Mookie Betts would have been up instead.
Exactly. Mookie would have been up. And Trout, one of the best players on the planet, would have been standing on deck, unable to influence the outcome. The lineup, the simple turning of the order, dictated that historic moment.
Not a coach's decision.
Not at all. And that randomness, that fairness, makes both the huge successes, like Bonds hitting his 756 homer, and the devastating failures like Bill Buckner's error, equally memorable, equally iconic. They feel earned or fated by the game itself.
It really does feel like a level playing field in that sense. Anyone can be the hero. It doesn't matter if you're the star or the rookie. When it's your turn, it's your turn.
The ultimate meritocracy of the moment.
It taps into that American ideal, right? Show up, do your job, be ready, and maybe, just maybe, you'll get your chance to shine, regardless of your status.
Perfectly put.
It's like trying to explain it to a kid, you know? Like this exchange. Why doesn't Ramirez bat again, Dad? My son, Leo, is kicking his feet against the seat in front of us, bored by the middle innings. He's the best. I smile, putting my arm around his small shoulders. Because that's not the deal, buddy. I point to the field where our second baseman, a guy in the middle of a terrible slump, is choosing a bat. See him? It's his turn. In baseball, everyone gets their turn, no matter how well they're doing. The whole team has to wait, has to trust that he's going to be the one to help them right now. Leo looks from the struggling batter back to me, his brow furrowed. So, everyone gets a chance to be the hero, he asks. I nod, my throat suddenly tight. The pitcher winds up, the crowd holds its breath, and in this slow, patient, and brutally fair game, I see the whole country's promise distilled into one at-bat. It's not about being the best every single time. It's about being given the chance to be, just once.
That nails it. That inherent fairness, that shared burden and opportunity.
Yeah.
It's why the game resonates.
Yeah.
But it also fuels this constant tension within baseball itself, this sort of battle for its soul between tradition and innovation.
Ah, yeah, the unwritten rules versus the push for change.
Exactly. You've got these unwritten rules, right? Codes of conduct passed down player to player, policed by the players themselves, not in any rule book.
Like, don't bunt to break up a no-hitter.
Classic example. Strategically, maybe smart, but it's seen as violating the spirit of the game. Hugely unsportsmanlike. It can get you thrown at.
Or pitchers retaliating when a teammate gets hit.
Right. Is it upholding team honor, or is it just dangerous, outdated vengeance? These rules reflect values like respect, humility, sportsmanship. But they can also be pretty murky and controversial.
And baseball, as a sport, has historically been pretty resistant to changing any rules, written or unwritten.
Oh, incredibly so. Look how long it took to get widespread instant replay compared to other sports. Decades.
The DH debate between the leagues went on forever.
Forever. And even now, the debate about automated strike zones, the robo-umps. There's a strong traditionalist wing arguing that the human element, even human error by umpires, is part of the fabric, the drama of the game.
They worry about losing the feel of baseball.
Yeah, that the stats and tech might sanitize it too much, take away the unpredictable emotional core, a fear of losing its soul, essentially.
But then there's the other side. The need to modernize.
Absolutely. And compelling reasons for it. Game length is a huge one. In today's world, 3.5 or 4 hour games. It's tough to keep younger audiences engaged.
Competition for attention is fierce.
Fierce. So you see innovations like the pitch clock, limits on mound visits, the 3-batter minimum for pitchers, all aimed squarely at speeding things up, creating more action.
And they seem to be working. Mostly games are shorter.
Definitely having an impact. And then there's the whole analytics revolution, sabermetrics. It's changed everything from player evaluation and development to in-game strategy like defensive shifts before they were restricted.
Data driving decisions much more than ever before.
Hugely. Plus, technology like electronic sign calling devices to combat sign stealing, it's all seen as necessary evolution to keep the game relevant, exciting, and growing.
So it's about finding that balance, right? Honoring the tradition without becoming stagnant.
That's the tightrope MLB is walking, experimenting with rules, trying to find what works without alienating the traditionalists or fundamentally changing the game's character.
And you see players like Ohtani who just defy traditional roles.
Exactly. A guy who is elite as both a pitcher and a hitter. It opens up whole new dimensions, brings incredible excitement. It shows the game can evolve in amazing ways.
And thinking globally too, right? Those unwritten rules might not translate everywhere.
That's a big point. Things like bat flips or certain celebrations that are normal in, say, Asian leagues can be seen as showboating or disrespectful by some American traditionalists. For baseball to truly grow worldwide, it needs that cultural flexibility, that inclusivity.
So figuring out which traditions are essential, like the core rules we've discussed, and which are maybe just habits that could stand to evolve, that's the ongoing challenge.
Like the debate over celebrations. Does limiting them preserve decorum, or does it stifle personality and make the game less fun, especially for younger fans?
It's a constant negotiation. Keep the soul, but also keep it vibrant and growing. So wrapping this up, it's clear baseball is this fascinating bundle of contradictions. It gives us these moments of incredible inspiration, unity, heroism, Piazza after 9/11, Jackie Robinson.
Moments that transcend sport.
Absolutely. But then it also has this wild side. Doc Ellis on LSD, the '86 Mets plane incident. Just bizarre, intense behavior.
And we trace that duality back, really, to that unique foundation. The immutable lineup rule.
Yeah, that single rule dictates so much. It takes control away from managers in a way other sports don't, creates this unpredictable flow of opportunity.
Which in turn forces players to confront failure constantly, demands incredible mental toughness, and makes those moments of success, when they come, feel almost fated.
It creates that democratic stage where anyone can be the hero, tapping into that American dream narrative. But it also creates the pressure that maybe leads to some of that wilder behavior and fuels the constant debate between tradition and the need to evolve.
It's a beautiful, messy, compelling dynamic.
It really is. That commitment to a certain kind of fairness, even if it leads to randomness and frustration sometimes, combined with the sheer difficulty and mental challenge. It's why the game endures, I think. It keeps evolving, keeps reflecting us in all our complexities.
You know, baseball isn't just a game. It's really a testament to the power of structured unpredictability. It's this amazing canvas for both glorious triumph and truly memorable failure, forever mirroring aspects of the human spirit.